Hello everyone, hopefully everyone can hear me okay and everything's come through nice and clear. Welcome to tonight's live stream. Every Wednesday we do a question time. If you don't know what a question time is, it's a chance for you to ask your questions about Unreal Engine, game development, game design, anything you like really. It doesn't have to be about games, I don't really mind. So you can ask your questions away in the chat, and I've got a chat open over here on the second monitor, so I'll try and catch them as best I can, and once I've got them, I'll answer them as best I can as well. So, hello everyone that's turned up for tonight. We've got Marion, X Draco, hello Vlad, hello Jose, hello everyone. Hope everyone is all doing well. And hopefully everyone is enjoying the online multiplayer series that started today. I literally just finished filming another episode for that. So look forward to more of that coming out later on in this month. Been working pretty hard. I worked also on a new asset pack, which is available to my patrons and a gold tier patrons, that is, and that is a outliner tool, which is super simple to use and really cool to use as well. I'll be adding more features to it over time. So check that out. I've got a video up on the site, on the channel rather, explaining how it works. It's really simple. You just drag and drop and then put one function in. It's really nice. Hello Ethan. Hello Ryan. Your tutorials have really helped me make some breakthroughs in learning. Just want to say thanks. You're welcome, Ethan. You're welcome. What I've been up to lately. So lately I've been really just, we're back in the swing of things at the moment and work. So we're getting the college sort of ready for students, planning out our lessons for students. It's a weird time because of COVID stuff, but yep, that's what we've been doing for the past couple of weeks now. Students are about to start next week, so that's exciting. In the meantime, I've been working on some content for patrons. Been doing lots of one-to-ones and one-to-one tuitions for people. I've got more information about my one-to-one program. That'll be coming out in probably next week. About like what it entails, official costings and so forth. So keep an eye out for that coming out next week when I put that up and advertise that out. But yeah. Also, I'm super excited about World of Warcraft Shadowlands. I don't know if anyone else is, but that fortunately falls into the half term for us, so I am looking forward to that. Okay, we've got some questions starting to come in now, it looks of it. Mom. Oh god. So we got Chris. Hey, I see a lot of tutorials on level sequences, but what I want to do is an opening cinematic. Any pointers? You got a couple of options. You can either do a pre-rendered cutscene or a in-game cutscene. It's pre-rendered. You just you can do it in Unreal, or you can do it in like Maya or Blender, whatever you want, and you render it out like a movie, and you play it like so. Otherwise, if you're doing it all in engine, it is using just a level sequencer. So you use a level sequencer, put in actors, put in the animations in. You'll have folders up for each animation for each cutscene, and you turn them to play the animation, and it's as simple as that, really. There's not too many tricky things to it. The hardest part is getting your animations for your characters and so forth to line up. But you'd have like a folder in here, which will be like your cutscene animations, and you'll have the animations for each of your characters and assets and things like that. And you just compose them into the scene, and you use a level sequencer to build the cutscene. That's all it is. And opening cinematics are just opened up on the level begin play. Xtraco, hey Ryan, do you have any knowledge about HLSL and its application in materials? I haven't dabbled too much into the C++ side of things, but so I haven't really messed about too much with the. If you don't, for people who don't know what HSL is, it stands for high shader. No, hang on, what does it stand for? Have a look. I forgot what it stands for. High level shading language. There you go. Which is part of I think it's DirectX API, and you can code shaders. No, I haven't really messed about with it in Unreal. I'm not a very shader person, more of a gameplay person, but I'm playing about with more and more. EV Schwab, hey, just wanted to drop in and say thank you. A couple of videos have saved my ass in project due for university yesterday. You're welcome, EV. Get a gaming job. My question is, how do you manage to hack in so much time to do all the stuff you do? I barely manage to make food every day. I get very little sleep. It's very, very busy at the moment in my life. So I'll give you a rundown of my day to day. I wake up about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, get ready to work, go to work, and by the time I get home, it's about 6 o'clock in the evening, which gives me about an hour or so. My kids do dinner, put them to bed. By the time I put them to bed, it's about 9 o'clock, and that's when I'll do work, and I'll start recording and editing and all that stuff from 9 o'clock to about 2 o'clock in the morning, and then get up the next day and do it all again. So I'll get on average about 3 to 4 hours sleep. Usually my kids like to wake up in the middle of the night as well. I'm extreme. That's why I look like I've got bags underneath my eyes. It is a sacrifice. I'm really behind on my gaming. I want to play more games, but so I haven't had much time to play them. As I say, I'm hoping to build up a sort of log of stuff so that I can spend some time playing Shadowlands, because that's what I'm looking forward to playing most next. Hello, Jamie. How are you? I'm good, thank you. How are you doing? Music Dude M, will you ever cover a Skyrim-like melee system between first and third person melee? I haven't found any info anywhere on that. First and third person, not much different. It's just the way you animate it and show it. I will cover anything people ask for, so I'll put on my to-do list, and when I get to it, I'll get to it. So we'll see. Stark, hi Ryan, thanks for all your great videos. Quick question, how long do you think your complete multiplayer series would be? 4 weeks or so. So currently there are 4 episodes up on Patreon. I just finished filming the 5th. I'm going to film a couple more of the first half. Now the first half of this series, so that'll be about 6-7 episodes, is covering how online multiplayer works and how to make functions and how to do basic stuff in it. Then the second half is going to be how to connect players together using IP addresses and searching for stuff and building a lobby up and then starting the game. And that'll be the second half of the series. I can't say how long that's going to be yet. I haven't planned it out too much, but we'll see. As for how long it'll take to come out, it'll be done by Christmas, hopefully. But we're probably looking at it's going to be quite a long one. So looking at probably November time it'll be done. Obviously, patrons will have like a month or two ahead of everyone else. So yeah. And if we get to 700 patrons on patreon.com/Ryan Daly, we'll do a online FPS deathmatch game series. Is that music too loud, or should I turn it down a bit more? I'll turn it down a bit more. Christopher Allen, hello. Quick question. In regards to overlap triggers, how would you remove all movement from a character when an overlap occurs? In regards to shop tutorial, the player still moves in one direction. Right, so let's do that. Let's make a actor here. And we'll stop actor. We did it. I did this the other day. I can't remember who for, but I did it for someone else the other day. Okay, and made it not hidden in game. So I want to make it so when I walk into this, I stop the character. So you got your begin overlap, and the other actor you're going to cast to in this case it's first person character. And from the as first person character, I'm going to get the movement component. Get character movement. Fine. And in here we can set max walk speed to 0. And that should really do it. Test that out. This is not how I did it for someone else the other day, but in my time between now and then, that should make sense. Yeah, there, stop. So when you want to stop the player, it's to set max walk speed to 0. I've got a stupid jump on from another time, but yeah, that's it. That's what you'll do. Baggy in a new 4.25.3 version, is there still an option to run a dedicated server? Good question. Let's have a look. Yes, your player's client, it should still work fine. Don't know. I assume it would. I haven't got it set up, this one, but I would imagine so. Yeah. Marion Stancil, yo, you've been Patreon for the past few months. Thank you very much. Just wanted to ask, in Melee AI animation tutorial for AI series and in spell tutorial, you assigned animation to upper body. I don't know how to play a full body animation with that. So a full body animation, you just change its slot to the default slot. That's all. And that'll play it for the whole thing. Yeah, gaming job. Okay, real question. I've heard it mentioned that it's a good idea to be able to use both C++ and blueprints for a project. Where does the limit of blueprints that I should start considering C++ instead? When you find there's no function in the blueprints that will do what you want it to do, essentially that's what you use it for. Or want access to APIs you don't have access to through blueprints. So things like if you want to use, like if you want, for example, if you want to use Epic's online services, you have to use C++ because there's no blueprint functionality in there for it, at least yet anyway. So that's a set of libraries that you can't access through Blueprint. So you have to go into C++, set up the functions, set up that stuff, and then you can expose them then into Blueprint. So you can create your own Blueprint nodes, which makes it a lot better for prototyping and playtesting. Anything that you feel like might be a bit more efficient to do in C++ as well, but it's not much really, like anything you can do if you can do it in Blueprints to make it more efficient in C++, it's arguable depending on what you're doing. But the main reason is if you don't have access to libraries that you don't have access to in Blueprints. For example, you have no you don't have access to any HTTP protocols, at least as far as I know. They haven't added it. Let me double check. Yeah, so they haven't added any HTTP protocols in here, which is useful for things like if you want to post things to websites and forums and things like that. You kind of need that stuff, so you can't do that here if you're doing C++. Hello, Rexzilla. Mehmed X60, do you have other web to download Animaton? Don't know what you mean. Do you have another website to download animation? Is that what you're talking about? Yes, no. Black Swan. I would like to watch a cool tutorial on how to set up a character, connect animation, behavior tree, and important what is needed of a blend space and montage. Why is there so much different to work on? Okay, I've got videos all on that stuff. If you go to my animation series that I've done a couple of years back, in there I explain that. So you talk about how you set up a character and the character animation blueprint, and I don't cover the behavior tree, but I'll do that in my AI series plenty of times. And important, what is the need of blend space and montage? So blend spaces is if you want animations to blend together. So let's show you an example of that. Hang on. So in this animation starter pack, which you can get for free off the Epic Marketplace, here's a blend space for the jog. Okay. So the jog animation is this blend space here, and you can add multiple animations to this graph here. And the blend space, you can preview this green one. Based on the value, will blend between different animations. So this is how you get like omnidirectional animations working in your game. Yeah, and that's what blend spaces are. This is a two-dimensional blend space. There's also a one-dimensional one. Which one you use is depending on what you're trying to do. So if you want two variables that affect it, so in this case speed and direction, you can use that to dictate which way they're moving. Yeah. So that's blend space. A montage is a way of firing off one-time animations that you can then compose to have loops and different effects and things like that. It's hard to explain. So if you think about it, it's anything that is a one-time animation that you play once round. So like shooting a gun, for example, would be a montage, or swinging a sword would be a montage. But montages are quite powerful in the fact that you can add sections, and then you can make those sections you can tie code to those sections, so you can detect when a section's been hit in the timeline, and then do other stuff. This is how you do like things like combo attacks and things like that. Which I keep meaning to make a video on that, but we'll get to that eventually at some point. So that's when you'd want to use montages. Oh, pardon me. Ethan Young. Hey Ryan, do you think you could do an addition to your inventory series where you might add the ability to drop objects out of your inventory and they would pop up in the world as a physics object? Yeah, I could do. Yeah, I'll add that to my to-do list for that series when I revisit it. Yeah, I'll put that in there. X Draco. Hey Ryan, I have a static mesh with several components as reference for their faces. I can rotate the mesh so that the referenced face looks at the camera. Yeah. If you want a head to always look at the player character or the character's thing, the camera, sorry. I don't know if I can actually do it in this. We don't have an aim space in here. Oh wait. Oh yeah. So here's an aim space, but we haven't got it set up. So. Oh, hurry. So it's just doing the look at function, not look at a focus function, and you put that into the aim offset for the head, and you can make it look at the camera. Just put in the camera's location. So look, easier to look at my video for on aim offsets. So look at how aim offsets work. So you get the head to do things like this, yeah, and then you just tell it to focus or look at or get the pitch and yaw between the head and the camera, and then it'll make it always look at the camera wherever you position it. But it wouldn't be a static mesh. It will have to be a skeletal mesh to do this sort of stuff. If it's a static mesh, you'll need to just turn it to face towards the camera, just by using rotational. Get the direction and the angle from that, from make rot from X. Marion, doesn't work because the animation graph blends the poses. What were we referring to? I forgot. Hang on, let's go back up. Oh, full body animation. Yeah, so hang on. If your montage is set to the correct slot, so you should have something that looks like this. Hang on. So if I cache this, saved pose. Blend by bone. And slot. Ooh. Okay, so yeah, this slot will be your second slot, and then if you want to do the full body thing, you just put that in here. So your full body default slot will be here, and your upper body one will be here. Because what's happening here is that this is your basically like the base pose, the body. Then you're overlaying the top half of the animation, of the new animation. And then we're saying, I think this is how it works. And then from here, then it'll tell it to go into the full body slot. So if anything is set to the full body slot and you tell it to play, it basically overwrites this bit here. And yeah, it'll overwrite it. Try that out. That should hopefully work. Otherwise, you can always go on here and add a pin and do another one like that, I guess. I don't know. Try that method first. So this will be the upper body slot. This will be the default slot. Try that. Black Swan. Hey, can you quickly explain the difference between animation blend space and animation montage? I've already done that, so that's fine. If you have any further questions about that, just ask. I'm a bit delayed in the question, so bear with me. Official Luke Hopkins. Found your videos very helpful so far. Trying to figure out how to get one AI to spawn when it hits a trigger box, but it endlessly spawns and crashes. Is there easy blueprints to solve? Found how to get one AI to spawn when it hits a... So, hang on. I'm confused by that. So, here's that trigger box. So, you want an AI to walk into the trigger box, and then... Wait. Figure out how to get one AI to spawn when it hits a trigger box. Do you mean when the player hits a trigger box or when the AI hits a trigger box? Hedy Exactly. Hi Ryan. If it is possible to make a video weekly or whatever you like, and have time watching a game, 5 to 10 minutes of a trailer or gameplay, and tell us how this can be made, give us an idea. Thanks. Where will I have time watching the game, 5 to 10 minutes of trailer or gameplay? Oh right. So you want me to do what I do for? So I do that in my live stream for case studies. So if you go to my case study live streams, that's what I do for about an hour, hour and a half. The last one I done was Fall Guys. So check that out. But that's possible content we could do in the future, like recorded versions of that. There are loads I want to try and do. It's just finding the time to do them. Like ideally, I would like to make one where we it's a pre-recorded thing, so not live, and we do analysis breakdowns of how a game does X, Y, Z things. But it just takes so long to record it, edit it, put it all together. It's a lot more of a process, so we don't know how long it will take for me to get that far, but we will see. Oscar, hello. I want to know how to launch enemies into the air and hit them there, like in Devil May Cry. Thanks. So to launch a character into the air, it's just one function called launch character. So it's just the launch character node, and you put in the direction you want to launch it with the strength applied to it, and probably a Z override as well, and that'll launch the character in the air, and to make them hit damage when they're in the air. When they're hit, you can do a check for like I don't know. I guess you could do any damage. Oh, hello, any damage. So on event any damage, you can then do a check to say is falling. And if that is true, that means they're in the air. You want to just launch them up again a little bit in the air. So you do another launch, but this one will be a very tight, much smaller amount. Just keep them popping up in the air when you hit them. That would be the easiest way of doing it. I think that would keep them juggling in the air. Mike, would having a weapon attached to IK hand bones in the character PP affect upper and lower body blends? I can't seem to blend running and upper body animations. You can't seem to blend running and upper body animations. Okay, so you got character running whilst holding a gun. It depends what's animated. So the IK of the hands is tied to the shoulder, so if the shoulder's animating, the hands will go with it. Or if the gun, I would have to investigate that a bit more, but I'm thinking there must be a blend. Oh, hello. There must be a blend option in the blueprint that lets you do that. Let's have a look. See. So I'm looking for a blend here. So blend. Wait, IK. Let's type in IK. I don't know. I'll have to experiment. I don't want to say too much in case I get it wrong, and give you false information. But I'll experiment with that. I'm actually working on IK stuff at the moment for the FPS RPG series, so I'll experiment with that. Baggy. Just one more question. Is there a way to animate a character in the editor itself, like in Unity or plugin, because that would be help so much? Yeah, so in the latest version, there's the control rig. Just search for control rig documentation, and it'll be fine. Yeah, control rig. Search for that. Ryan, your tutorials are saving my degree. Thank you. You're welcome, Jordan. Hi, Clifford. Uriah Harpaz. Hey, I'm learning UE4. I just wanted to know your videos are awesome. Oh no, sorry, are some of the best made on YouTube for the topic. So fun to watch. I forget I needed it. Yeah, nice one. Thank you. I agree. Also, I don't know what we're agreeing to, but I assume it's something nice, hopefully. It worked, Marion. Excellent. Good to know. Hi, Kim. How do I set up an ambient sound with a wave file? Ambient sound. It's just sound. It must be in start content. Hang on. Audio. So when you're doing audio for ambient sounds, you've got sound 2D. So if we were to drag a cue in here, that makes sense. Let's I don't know. Let's do start music. Okay, so do start music, and in here, if you tick is UI sound, that means it plays every time, everywhere evenly. It's not set by spatial stuff. It's not going to get louder as you get closer, and you can probably hear it. Hang on, let's just turn down the music so you can actually hear this stuff doing its thing. So back in here. So you can hear that music playing, and it plays no matter where I am. So you get your ambient music, import it in, and just drag it into your scene. You'll need to make it a cue, I think, first of all. So right-click on the music and go up top, create cue. And that'll give you this blue one. The cue is basically a way of adding like effects and stuff like that to it, and loads of other weird stuff you can do with it. And yeah, you just place it into the world and then tick that is UI sound, and that'll give you ambient music. And that'll just play music. You got other things as well, like you can do like volume and so on and so forth. Envelopes won't matter if you're doing UI music. That's mostly only if you're doing spatial sound stuff. Pitch, obviously, is what you think it is, pitch, and so on and so forth. There you go. Extra Waco. Ah, I see what you're trying to do. So your mesh is a polygonal shape with faces of different colors. Once a player sets a specific color, you want the mesh to rotate until the selected face is looking at where the camera is. Call the faces with arrows. The problem is the math to make it rotate correctly. That's a good one. Okay. Well, to make it rotate smoothly, you need to lerp it, or with an R interp 2. For that to work, though, you need a target rotation. So you need to work out what the rotation is for a specific. Okay, so you've got faces with arrows coming off all the faces. Okay, right, I've got an idea. So, going actor. So in here we add like a cube. Okay, you've got probably more faces than this, but that'll do. And in here I'm going to add a arrow or scene component. Let's do an arrow. And I'm going to put the arrow on that face there. I'm then going to duplicate that. And put that there. And so on and so forth. You put that on all the faces that you want it to work on. And maybe colour them to match the same colours as you want your faces to actually be. So once you've got that all done, rename them as well, make it easier for yourself. So red arrow, blue arrow, so on and so forth. And to get the angle of the arrow compared to your camera, let's go and let's see if we can do this. So on begin play, right, I'll take the blue arrow. So the blue arrow, arrow 1 here, we're going to take this out, get rotation. No, get forward. Get a forward vector of that. Then you want to get the camera. So get player camera manager. Get camera. Ooh. Get camera. Can I get forward vector? So you get the camera's forward vector, and you got the arrows, the one you want, forward vector, and then you want to get the find look at rotation. So that's the starting one, would be the arrow, the target will be the camera, and then find look at rotation. And then you plug that into a variable like so, and then on the tick we're going to do the rinterp2. So rinterp2 current is going to get actor rotation. The target is going to be new var 0, and we're going to return get actor rotation, new var 0, target, and we want to change the actor's rotation. That's right. So set actor rotation, plug that into the tick. Delta time will be delta seconds, and intercept speed, we're going to make this quite slow, so I'll change it to 1 so we can hopefully see it working, just for so I can actually see if it is the correct one. I'm going to, I don't think you can make arrows show in the game. Oh no, maybe you can. Hidden, and turn it off as hidden. So at the start of the game, this thing should turn and face to the player. And the blue arrow. Oh, hello. There you go. Oh, wait, where am I gone? Oh, it's because I've in. Yeah, hang on. Sorry. Oh, it's offline. There you go. Bye. No. I can only think the camera manager is a problem for that. Easiest solution to that is to get player character, cast to first person character, and get camera. Okay, so hopefully that fixes that. There you go. So see it rotating? Oh, doing something, right? What happened there? Why did it stop? Turn in. I think it's pointing to 0, 0. I'm not too sure. I said that 0, 0. Don't know. I want to get a forward vector, find look at rotation, set that. Don't know. It's probably something like this, but I don't know where I've gone wrong. Let me just read some more questions. I don't want to spend too long. Donny K, why did you start making tutorial videos? I started making videos because my students in my classes would go off during like half terms and so forth to complete a project, and they go online, find some YouTube channels that are making tutorial videos, and just copy what they're watching, and building no understanding of how it works, what they're doing at all. So when they came back to the classroom, they had bugs or problems and wanted to change something. I asked them, okay, we're teaching them through it, like, okay, what have you done here? They couldn't explain what they had done. So I said to them, look, you're following bad resources online. Let me try and make some good ones for you. And that's how I got started. So I wanted to make good resources for my students, and it kind of just kept going. Kim North, if I can't find the animation I want in Paragon, how much work is it to make it? Is it even possible? The problem you have with the Paragon assets is you don't have access to the rig model. You only have the final baked animations. So you wouldn't be able to go in and do it. You'd have to re-rig it yourself and then retarget the whole lot. It's a pain in the bum. But you need a rigged character. Once you've got a rigged character, then you take that into like Maya, Blender, whatever, and animate it. Alternatively, you can use a control rig to mess about with stuff and reanimate it in a control rig. That should be possible there. Uriah Harpaz, right now, to almost any animation state change, I use a boolean or other animation or other variable casted from the character's command blueprint. Is there any more efficient way to do it? It all depends on what you are animating. If an animation state change is going from like is swimming to walking and so forth, then yeah, you'll need like a boolean or something like that to check that. But things like can be like speed and all that stuff can be checked with that stuff. It would be interesting to know how much you have set up as boolean casting. But it don't necessarily have to be casted values. Some of this stuff already belongs to the character component. So, for example, when you do an animation state change, for example, let's talk about that. So, in animation blueprint, on your event graph, you do all this stuff, and as the character, you get the. Oh, sorry for yawning, by the way. Get the movement component, and then from the character's movement component, you can get movement mode, which is enum, and then you can switch to that, and then you can output those modes there. So if it is in that swimming mode, you can then set is swimming to true here. So it doesn't have to be cast or anything like that, or stored as a boolean. It can be just like an enum, for example. And you can always make your own enums as well. I've got videos on how to do that as well. Abdudi, hello. Hi Ryan, hope you're doing well. I have a line trace that duplicates the actor it hits, but the duplicated actor doesn't copy the variables of the original actor. Do you know how I can fix this? So, it depends on what variables you want to duplicate. When you spawn an actor, so let's say in here, for example, when you spawn an actor, you need to spawn an actor from class. Okay. Now you need to expose variables here to to transfer over values. So let's say, for example, you have a float in here. Okay, and this float is a float, and you want to tick instance editable and expose on spawn. So what that means, for every one of the variables that you want to transfer over to the duplicate, you make them exposed on spawn and editable. Then on the spawn actor by none, on the spawn actor from class node, you choose your class. This new blueprint 4. You will see the exposed on spawn. Oh wait, let's compile it first. That again. New blueprint 4. There you go. So you'll see the float appear here, and then you just drag out like that, and you do it for every one of the variables you want to transfer over. That's it. How do you slow a character's movement down whilst they are attacking / in an animation? So on your animation montage, you can put in a little bit of code which handles that. Let's find a montage. Here's a montage. Okay, so in this montage, let's say here, you right click on it, and you, not this way, on notifiers, and you want to add a montage notifier, I believe. Either that, or you can create your own notifiers. So I can't. No, let's see. I remember how to do this. You add new blueprint class down here. Type in notify, and you'll see it's anim notify. Yeah, anim notify. Click select. Opens it up, and in here you'll make a. I think it's in here. A new function. Not a new function, sorry. Override. Receive notify. And on the receive notify, you can then get the player character, I guess. So get player character. And then set max walk speed. Oh wait, set get character movement. Set max walk speed. So you're making a custom notification here. And whatever, 100, done. And return your tick true. Okay. So then on your notification in your animation montage, you right click here, and add notifier, and you'll find your new blueprint one. And so when the timeline hits that, it'll call that code and do stuff. And that's what that does. So that's one way of doing it. Koveski Sergey. Ryan, help please. Can't find information or manuals about how to create a YouTube stream inside level. Not media player with MP4 AVI. I need to play a video from YouTube or Twitch, etc. Web browser plugin does not fit. You can't. You need a plugin or create your own in C++ to accomplish that. But there is no way of doing it currently in what you're offered here. Official Luke Hopkins. Oh, another one. How could I integrate a green screen video into UE? As in, I have some actors filmed already, and I want you to import the videos and place the characters in various places in a horror game. Okay, so that's composition. We don't have time to go into it right now, but I have recently seen some good demos of people and tutorials of people showing that. I can't remember where they are. But if you search in YouTube or on Google UE4 composite, green screen composites, you'll see how they do it. Basically, you're making render targets and making your own masks in the material, and it'll mask out the green and put it in. Essentially what it is. So I don't know. I don't have any footage to use, so I can't show you. But when you bring it in, you will have something called a media player. Sure. You have a media player, I think, when you import one in, and then from that, it might be from something else. No, sorry, that's right. So then you make a render target, and you set. Oh man, I can't remember now. Media texture. There you go. So media texture, and you choose which media player it's using, and it'll play there. And then from that texture, you can use create material. So you go from there, create material, and from there you can get a green and use the material to mask it out. But I say there's tutorials online that show this in a lot more detail than I have time to tonight, because we only have 10 minutes left. So if you have any further questions, throw me in the chat. I'll try and answer as many as I can in quick fire. Okay, UI Harpaz, could you do a tutorial on tips on making memory RAM efficient code? Sure. The memory is all about loading up stuff. So once it's loaded in the initial load, it's not necessarily a code that's going to be the RAM stuff. It's going to be like spawning assets and things like that. In which case you want to make sure you're taking advantage of occlusion and things like that. So it's mostly like a modeling thing. The main thing is to say when you're building levels, make it modular. So when small pieces are hidden from view, they are not being rendered and therefore save up a bit of space. But yeah, I'll see if there's anything I can do in code, but it's mostly a modeling thing and loading thing. Jordan, hey, yo Ryan, shot in the dark here. Back in your pickup and inspection series, everything's working fine, but my first-person camera character can pick up an object from any distance. Any distance? Something's wrong with your line trace. So your line trace from your player character has got a float multiplied by the vector. That float is the distance that line trace is going. Check what that is. Hopefully it's not too long. You may put in like an extra 0 or something like that. Jordan, what's to do with the forward vector node? Oh right, yeah. Yeah. That's what I said. Yeah, get the length. Fikri Forzi, how can a TPS character pick up another character or drag another character that is lying on the ground? So there'll be an animation involved to get them up, like so. And you'll probably have like a socket where you attach their pose body on, and that's it. It's just a socket. You just play the animation of them picking up, attach them to the socket of the hands, and up they go. And you may switch to another socket when they're up there. Don't know, but that's what you're doing. Wargaming Kim, hi Ryan. I've been following courses on C++ for Unreal, thinking I need it, but the more I learn, the more I wonder how much is actually needed for a full project. Am I wasting my time? I'm of the opinion that nothing's wasting your time if you're learning something new. It's all worthwhile. C++ is useful to know because if you come across things that you can't do in blueprints, you can do it in C++. But you can make a full project in blueprints, no problem. How do you switch from third person to first person with weapon swap? Your character will have two meshes, a third person mesh and a first person mesh. One will be hidden, the other one will be shown. When you hit the button, you swap those around, and you just play animation. Antoine, hey, thanks for your minimap series. You are welcome. The PC Xbox, how would you make a multi-grid system? Everyone and their mums have made a snap-to-grid system. But what about a 4x4 item? By 4x4, do you mean like up as well in the air? Or I don't know what you mean. Or do you want to customize the size of what things are snappable? So you can have 1x1s, 2x2s, and 4x4s. Is that what you're trying to say? So if that's the case, then yeah, you can do that. You just got when you place it. Like when you, it's again hard to explain in a very short amount of time. When you spawn the block in, that's got stuff in it. Okay, so for example, imagine it's a block. Okay, so the block will have a value on it called size. Okay, so this will be its size here. Okay, part. Turn it back to new blueprint form. So when you spawn in your world, you'll come out with a return value. Spawn the block. This is the block being spawned on like the player character, for example. Return value out here, you can get the size, like so, and then you can use that to calculate what the vector snapping is. So the grid size here would be, so if there's a size of 4 by 4, do that multiplied by your grid base unit. So if you're doing a base unit of 100, chuck that into your grid size and set the location of this thing. Set location. Oh, balls. Set location. That. Yeah, so when you spawn you in your block, you get its size, times it by 100, and then snap it to the vector grid. And the vector will be its current position. So you get location. Like so. Okay, essentially that's what you do. Binus, hey, I know this is not related, but do you have any idea of how to generate simple procedural planets in UE? There's nothing ever simple about procedural planets. That's an oxymoron. Yeah. Planets are deceptive. So, for example, in No Man's Sky, the planets aren't actually round planets. It switches to a flat plane. Like, you can't fly around the whole planet in a dead straight line and return back to where you are. It's a trick. So if you want to do something like No Man's Sky, you make a procedural world, and when you're landing in, you're sort of blending the load between space and land. At least that's what I believe they're doing. It looks like that's what they're doing. Do you have any plans for a C++ series? Because there aren't many and you're a good teacher. I do have plans for a C++ series, but there's no idea when. I don't think it'll be this year. So we'll see. Paul M, hi. For a multiplayer game, is it possible to use blueprints for the inventory, or do you need to offload some parts to C++? Yeah, you can do all inventory stuff on multiplayer, but there's one thing people always get confused with multiplayer and inventory, stuff like that. The inventory is not replicated. The inventory is all client-based. It's nothing like other players don't need to know what's in your pockets. The only thing they need to know is when you grab something out of your pockets and drop it in the world. That's the thing you replicate. So don't worry about replicating the grids and data of inventory components. Only replicate the spawning of objects or collection of objects. That's all you got to replicate. Person A does not need to know or does not care what's in the back pocket of the other player. Okay, if they need to know that information by like inspections, for example, they're inspecting that player and want to get that information, they can do. They can just ask for it. So rather than constantly replicating it, you get a reference to the player you want to inspect, and then you can get that player's information through through a function saying retrieve data, and you pass it through that way. But it's not replicated. Vickery Fuzzy, please make a tutorial blacklight/UV light to reveal hidden texture in your next vid. Ooh, that sounds fun. Yeah, I'll have an experiment with that. That'd be fun to try out. I'm not familiar with Sebastian Legge's procedural planet system that he made. I'll have to have a look at that. Brian Connolly. Sorry if this has been asked, just arrived. How do you make two characters have an interacting animation? In what way do you mean? Do you mean like handshaking? It's just a matter of just lining, funny enough, just lining them up. And that's it, really. Not much in it. If it's something like yeah, it's just lining them up. So if you wanted the player to jump on the other player's back and then take them down, like a death kill, it's just lining them up and they get into place. You see this in games where the game will line them up first and then they'll do the animation. You see that a lot. And when the games don't do that, you do see where it breaks sometimes as well, where they clip and don't exactly line up their hits. But that's all it really is. It's two separate animations that you line up. And what they typically do to get it right, for like stealth kill animations, for example, they animate two characters in like Maya or Blender doing the stealth kill in motion capture or whatever they're doing. They do that animation and they export player 1 as one option and player 2 as the other option. And so you have two assets that you import at the same time, and those assets then are just then combined in the game by positioning them correctly. Okay, yeah, I'll check him out. I haven't heard of him. I'll check him out. It sounds interesting. But that brings us to the end of today's question time. If you don't know, if you didn't get what you wanted to ask, and I'll give Paul M his final question. Paul M's the last question. Working on a credit screen with a widget currently, I would like to store all the credits info on a data table for easily updating. Is that a good way to do a credit system? Yeah, you can do it that way. That'd be fine. Anyway, that'll do for tonight. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. Every Wednesday we do this question time, so if you have any questions or you didn't get your question answered, come back next Wednesday, 11 PM BST. If you like what I do and wish to support me, I'll be very grateful. It's on patreon.com/Ryan Laley. If you do support me, you get access to about 40 plus videos of content that no one else has seen yet. If you're a gold tier patron, you get access to the whole new outliner tool, which I released yesterday. Check out that video and see how that works. It's really nice. It works really simply how to do that. In fact, let's just do a quick demonstration of it and I can show you what it does. I will be going back into it and adding more little features into it that people have asked for. I'm trying to get onto the marketplace, but it's being a pain in the butt. But we'll have a look at this and I'll show you how it works and how easy it is to use. And of course, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you've subscribed. But chances are, if you're here, you've subscribed. Okay. So if I go into my demo level. Okay. So you see these actors here, they've all got their outliner on. So you can look at stuff and get in fields and to turn it on. You can also look through walls and see them through walls. You can look at objects, okay, and it'll turn on, and only turn on when you look at it. And it's really a neat system. And to show how easy it is to do, let's make a new level, and I'll show you. So I'll go in here, and let's just quickly add a sky sphere and all that, so we can actually see what the hell we're doing. And I will be doing some tutorial videos on how to do similar stuff like this. But the actor itself, it will be a Patreon only thingy-bob exclusive thing. What I'm looking for. Directional light. That's what I want. And we'll just set that to that. Okay, so let's just put a landscape in there. And click create. And then let's go and add a something in here. Let's put in a table. Okay, so I want this table to let's put a player in there as well, actually. So in your game, you're like, okay, I want to use the outliner tool for this table. Okay, so I can just go into my outliner tool, drag that into the world, and here I can customize how I want it to look. Okay, and that's what you've got to do. So if I want that to now turn on its outline, I can do it from the start of the game using the level blueprint, for example. Blueprints. So I get the reference to the table, for example, and I just do set outline, and that's the only function you need. You just do that, plug that in there, and tick the show outline button, and that's it. And it should work. Why is it not working? You little. Oh wait, it didn't. No, what happened there? Show outline. Of course, it doesn't work as soon as I show it live. It's all right. It's not something weird with this level, is it? Let's have a look. Maybe it's level blueprint doesn't let it. I haven't tested it with a level blueprint before, so maybe that's why it's not working. Let's just put this in it. And see, it works on that. Maybe it's just a level blueprint. So, yes. Okay, level blueprint causes issues. Don't use the level blueprint. But for this, we can do it in actors. So here, we've got a chair, and it's set up on the chair to when I look at it in the parent one. Set outline, that's all you got to do. And you look at it, and yeah, it turns on. So you can do it for all the things you want it to do. That's from the level blueprint, that error. This. I'll work out why the level blueprint doesn't work for it. That's weird, but never mind. But it works for all the other blueprints. So individual actors, you can turn it off and on. As simple as that, really. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. Stuff to look out for this week. We've got patrons can look forward to more online multiplayer stuff, more crafting and not crafting, skill system series. YouTubers can look out for crafting stuff coming. Some more online stuff coming in the coming weeks, and some other odd sorts. This month for Patreon, we are doing the Niagara system as a special thing. So over on Patreon, if you want to learn more about the Niagara system, over this course this month, I'll be releasing videos about the system and how to use it and its features. So check that out on patreon.com/Ryan Laley. Thanks everyone for watching, and have a good night. I'll see you all next time. Bye everyone.